So Brachiosaur got that cool like fin thing on their head. Well, let's get that into focus. Maybe side by side's better. As always, I'm starting with my base circle. And placing the eye line fairly high, maybe 1/3 down. And I've been giving all of my dinosaurs those little oval eyes, so I'm just going to keep on doing that. And I have the mouth coming all the way behind the eye. That's a little bit exaggerated to show the happiness. If you don't want to put it that far back, no big deal. And when he's not holding a bubble blower in his mouth, he does not have that underbite. I was actually practicing with a straw earlier, going, if I wanted to put something in my mouth and make it point upward, what would I have to do? And it turns out you have to stick out that lower part. But when he doesn't have one of those in his mouth, we'll go ahead and make the lower jaw recede a little bit. And then give him that little crest. Not sure what it was for, but interestingly, some artists will put the nostril on the crest. Others will put it just before the crest goes up. So there's no agreement on where the actual nostril goes. You can put it wherever you think it looks the coolest. I'm going to try it on top of the crest this time, since the last one I did it before the crest. And a little bit like giraffes, they are normally upright in their neck, and it shows by having their neck come almost straight down off the back of that crest, rather than, you know, out to the side like we might do that way. A lot of artists put a little bit of a throat bulge and then smooth it out, but since these are cartoony dinosaurs, how much detail like that you want to put in is up to you. Then we've got the feet, which are kind of like our elephant feet, and when we cartoon them, we mostly just do the big three-toed thing. The back legs have, let me get an actual pen, that same sort of build we've been doing with the knee and thigh area. And then they still walk on their toes in like actual scientific illustrations, but for simplification in the cartooning world, I'm just making it one big curvy cylinder. With maybe some knee wrinkles there. And 3 big toe marks. A variation you can do if you prefer is to have the toes come forward a little bit, more like a T-Rex style. So we could have the individual toes coming forward. And just like always, anytime we have a little toenail coming out, we'll have that little bulge of skin on top. If you'd like to put a little bit more detail into the feet, you can do that style of toe rather than the super simple one. For Brachiosaurus, super important that we have longer limbs in front, since its name means arm dinosaur, and even though technically these aren't arms, what would be the arms are longer than the legs. So we're going to have those same kind of shapes we've been working with that huge oval in front for that forward curve, then going back, and then forward again. So for the lifted leg, I've got my main mass one here that connects into the body. It goes down into that elbow. And then we'll have the forelimb. You can add that one other little curve to kind of indicate another joint in there, or not, up to you. And again, you can pick your toe style, either doing a couple of arches or going into those segmented toes that have a little more detail. That's pretty much it for this guy. He doesn't have any big spikes or plates or many other distinguishing characteristics anatomically. So we'll go ahead and jump into the actual drawing. I'm going to grab some cardstock. I'll start up at the head, leaving enough room for my bubble blower. Maybe put it right here, about the size of a quarter. Stick on that very characteristical bump on his head. Very short snout, but this time, since he's holding that bubble blower, I'm gonna have his lower jaw stick out a little bit. Again, very high eye line. And the nostril can be on that bump or before that head bump, wherever you like it best.
Got another student.
It is another student. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hey.
Believe it or not, I didn't forget this time.
Wow. Well, I hope you've got some pencil and paper so we can draw the dinosaur.
I think I'm going to just be a voyeur at this point.
Okay, that's fine too.
I've got a rabbit to cut down.
Oh my goodness.
So
That's a rabbit?
Yeah.
Hold him up one more time here.
It's an English
Wow.
It's an English Angora that got in the garden, and then the dogs got her, and I got to save the fiber to spin.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I thought that was a small dog, right?
I know, a lot of people do. But he needs to be cut, the wool to cut off.
Oh, okay. We'll go ahead.
Watch what you're doing while I'm doing this, okay?
Sure, sounds good.
I like those bubbles.
Yeah, I figure he's got some advantages to blowing some bubbles, being way up there. Very, very tall. So I'm gonna bring his neck down right off the back of his head. And I'm gonna go straight into his body shape being sort of like a candy corn, kind of big and rounded in the front and a little narrower at the back. The first time I didn't have any room to stretch out the tail, and I probably won't this time either. So I'm just going to sketch in where I want that tail to go. I think I'll curl it in front this time. We'll see what happens with that. I'm trying to get that nice slope in the back so we can have some nice long front legs and some shorter back legs. I'll go ahead and do the front of the neck.
I did work on my fairy that we did on Wednesday.
Oh,
I
excellent.
realized the knees really shouldn't be as low as they were.
Oh, okay.
So
Were you able to erase it, or you just colored over it?
I made a longer skirt.
Oh, clever.
I thought I was going to bug you, but then I thought, let's just see if I can figure out. You
Good
can still
for
see
you.
the legs a little bit, but it was a good one. I recognized what was wrong, and two, I was able to try to jimmy rig it.
Yeah, excellent. That's what most of art is, honestly. You run into a problem, and you're like, how can I fix this?
Before I couldn't even recognize what the problem was. So
yeah.
I thank you, Betsy.
Oh, you are very welcome. And then for tails, I like to start at the distal end, the far end. Make that as thin as I want it to be so that I have a target, and then I go ahead and come back from the body and work back and forth until I've got a nice smooth transition. And then pick where I want my ever important overlapping line to be. And then we just need some legs. So as the rule of placement tells us, things that are closer are lower on the paper. So this leg that's going to be the closest to us is going to be the lowest, and I don't want him stepping on his own tail, so it'll probably be landing right there. I'll sketch up the general shape right up into his hip. Give myself an oval to get a sense of the perspective of the ground. Then his other back leg needs to be a tad higher. So if I were to put another oval in there, about the same size, but a little bit higher. And just erase out what I don't need. Then we've got his back front leg on the same level as his back leg. You can give yourself a guideline if it helps, and stick another oval underneath his body. We don't want it too much in front because then it'll look like he's spreading his leg forward, and that won't help him reach up any taller. So underneath his body, about the same size. Coming on down. And then we've got this last leg being lifted up. Gotta get a little closer there. So if you want to imagine, as we have with the big cats, that it comes all the way down from the spine, this elongated shoulder blade, kind of a big raindrop there. That makes that first curve that goes a little bit backward, so we get that mass right there, which would be our upper arm if this were a human. And try to keep it thick and short. And we'll go forward again from that elbow. And if you want to add one more little direction change, you can do that too. Hopefully your foot will have about the same oval as all the other feet. You can double check by just throwing one in there. And we're going to add our bubble blower. So I'm going to zoom in to the head here. And you can do any kind of bubble blower you want. I know they've got those like double-decker ones and triple-decker ones. I'm just going to do my simple one. Little stick. I'm going to try to get it high and away away from the face so that I'll have room to draw that bubble. If I put it too close to his face is going to get covered with the bubble, which I guess is fine because bubbles are see-through. But for composition's sake, I think it'd be nicer if the silhouette were more clear. And then I'll go ahead and draw my bubble coming out of that bubble blower. And when they first come out, they're a little bit wiggly, not a perfect circle yet. And I like to put these more square-shaped shines on my bubbles for whatever reason. I don't even know myself. I suppose at one time I saw somebody else do it, and I stole like an artist, and that's how I do it now. All the other bubbles are going to be perfectly round, and you can draw as many or as few as you like, or you can even wait until the marker stage and just draw them with your marker if you feel confident in your circle making. We draw circles an awful lot, so you could just do them in the color of the marker rather than having to do them in the black ink first, which might take away a little bit of their light floaty nature.
So you're using ink there?
This is pencil.
Okay.
But I'll show the difference between inked bubbles and not inked bubbles. Like this one, it's not a drawing I'm going to keep, so I'll keep it, or ink it. If I ink my bubble, it almost looks like a ball more than a bubble that's suspended.
Yeah.
If I get just, you know, a blue marker and I kind of do the same thing, just one's obviously a bubble and one could possibly be a ball.
Right.
The
right.
color just kind of plays into that. So if you like the look of that one better, don't even bother with the pencil. You can just take a marker and start going for it. I try to work efficiently when I can. And not go over things 2 or 3 times. You can see on mine, I'm starting to get a little bit of a polka dot pattern, kind of like bubble, space, bubble, space, bubble, space, which is fine, but it can look a little better if we do bubble clusters. So if we do 2 or 3 of them together, 2 or 3 of them together, maybe even overlap. One is flying in front of another. Or you want to go into a more advanced level, bubble blowing. I used to remember as a kid being fascinated that when 2 bubbles were stuck together, they were flat on the point of contact. So you can do some double bubbles.
I know, I hear it too, Max. I don't know what it is. Had a raccoon ring my doorbell the other night.
Oh my goodness. How did I figure that out?
Well, I quit feeding him.
Oh.
So
And,
now they don't ring my doorbell anymore. But I had quit feeding him and they wanted me to put the food out there.
oh.
It scared the pee out of me.
And then for the bubbles, I'm going to have a jar of bubble solution. And this one, I kind of failed at the perspective staying the same as my dinosaur. So this time I want to make sure that my ovals of my feet are generally the same oval as my jar of bubbles. If I were to do it too big, open like that, the curve too much on the bottom, it's going to break the illusion. And if I do it too flat, it's going to break the illusion. So I'm going to try to get that same height of an oval. And then go ahead and, whoops, well, let me get rid of that first. Draw a bubble jar. And then for any labels or lettering, we're going to take that curve and we're going to do it again. And again. Show that rounded surface. Oops, my S never fits. I'm gonna make my label bigger. I've got all my shapes. I'm gonna go through and clean up, take out anything that I'm not going to ink over. And I'll decide what style of toes that I want to do. I think I did the super simple ones on our last kind of elephant-footed dinosaur, so I'll go for the more detailed ones this time. I'll have those toenails kind of poking out. A little bump of skin there.
Hey.
Hi, Mickey. How are you?
All right.
Oops, you might hear some snoring in the background every once in a while. That's the cat.
Aw.
You still have your rabbit in your lap, Stephanie? Michaela needs to see this rabbit. Whoa, yeah, fur coming off. Look at the size of this rabbit, Michaela. I thought it was a small dog.
Oh, wow.
It's a big rabbit.
Wow.
Look
What
at all
kind
that fluff. Look at that fur.
You're muted.
Yeah, you are muted, though, if you're trying to say anything.
You take it and you spin it in. I spin it into lamb's wool so it has a good.
Oh.
Or it can lose its shape. You know when you wash it, but if you have a kinky wool with it, a sheep's wool or something, then it kind of holds it. And
Oh, it'll hold its foot in. Oh, I didn't know you spun your own.
Halo. I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it.
But yeah. All right, cool. I just want Mickey to see. That was a pretty cool looking rabbit.
Face is dead,
Yeah, we can see the face a bit more now.
What is all this? Huh? Jack.
And wherever there's a bend in the flesh, I'm going to put in a couple of overlapping lines.
I like those toenails with the little crease on top.
Yeah. Yeah, before I was doing kind of the the press-on nails. It didn't look like they were actually any toenails there. Looked more like stickers. Give a little more depth to these. On the inside of the elbow here, I'll put some overlapping lines. On the back of the neck there, some overlapping lines. Back of the leg, anywhere it's getting kind of squished. I'll show a little overlap. And then it's time to ink. Or a marker first. I've been doing a couple of them where I color them first and then do the lines last, but either way it tends to be a little bit of bleeding and smearing, so I haven't found a good pen that won't smear my marker, or vice versa. Marker that won't smear the pen. I've got kind of a tricky tangent kind of happening here where I've got the belly coming into the leg and then the leg coming into the belly and the leg right there. So I'm going to adjust that a little bit. It's a tiny thing, but if I can just move that leg out a little bit, it just becomes so much more clear. Now I'll go to ink. Actually, I lied. I'm going to roll my kneaded eraser in my hands and take up the extra graphite. And I'll try this supposedly waterproof Faber-Castell tip pen today. I like to start with the face while I have all of my patience intact and can take it very slow for those facial features. Particularly when I'm doing humans that have a little bit more complex face than this.
Hey, Kayla, can you keep the dogs in here for a bit? Your dad's trying to do those, like,
Okay.
they put their nose to the door.
And my dog would like out of the room right now, so I'm going to come back in a moment. Where the head is being overlapped by the bubble, I'm going to leave a little gap right there just to kind of sell the point that even though this thing is clear, it is definitely going in front of the head. Just a reminder for when you have a big sweeping line and you couldn't make it in one go, don't start where you stopped because it'll be too obvious of the break in the line. Start way back up here, kind of hover your pen, just like an airplane, you're gonna touch down and then continue that line and nobody will ever know that you had to stop in the middle. It'll be so smooth. I rushed it on that one. So then you got this problem. Oh no, I tried to continue this line, but I missed, and now it's thick in one spot. Well, now you get the joy of making the entire line that thick. Or you can try to find a place where it might naturally thin back down again. But honestly, by that point, I usually go ahead and make the whole outline thicker and tell people I meant to do that.
I like your tips.
Well, you know, when I was back in taking art classes and all these different mediums of painting and computer art and all that, and there would be these students that came from like Russia and where they had a far better foundation in the arts at an earlier age in their education than Americans. So they just came in with super skills, right? And they would get up there with their painting and go, oh, it's not very good. It's not my best. As you can see here, I messed up the perspective and I messed up the, and I couldn't see any of these mistakes that they were pointing out. And my teachers would just say all the time, like, don't point out your own mistakes. Nobody can see it. Right? You can see your own mistakes so much more clearly than anyone else can. So don't highlight them. Just go with the flow.
Just put the dress over the knees and
That's
like
right. Just make the
6
skirt a
feet
little
below her
longer.
hip. Yeah.
You know, Bob Ross had it right. There's no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Plus, aren't you the one that says that your brain will fix it sometimes?
Yeah, a lot of times your brain will fill in the gaps anyway. So there's especially in figure drawing, a lot of the times it'll happen where when we had to work off of live models, let's say, you know, this is a person's waist and she has one hand, you know, clearly in view here, but she's turned, let's say here's her center line, turned so much so that you can only see just like a little bit of a hand sticking out over here. And
Right.
It kind of just looks like a growth.
Uh-huh.
Another hand. So I'd have one teacher say, yeah, just don't do that other arm. Nobody's going to assume that she's a one-armed woman. You know, it's just, you can't see it right now. But, you know, so many of us were stuck in this mindset that, oh, I can see it, so I have to draw it.
Yeah.
But does it make your drawing a good drawing? If it doesn't, leave it out. Yeah, that thick part is still bothering me, so I'm just going to even the whole thing out carefully. We have time, right? Yeah, it's only 4:40. We can do it. Particularly since this dinosaur doesn't seem to have any crazy color patterns. Most artists just illustrated either gray or green. I got a little more creative with my pink and purple, but we'll see what I do for this one. And for the bubbles, I'm just going to use my blue highlighter.
What are you doing there? You're just taking the graphite that might be off.
Exactly right, yep.
Okay.
Taking off that extra graphite.
You know, I recently found out about there's a game that
Mhm.
stars dinosaur people called Goodbye Volcano High. It has like dinosaur characters. It seems cool. But I'd recommend that if you try to look it up, don't look at Google Images because it feels like most of the Google Images stuff is just people making fun of the main character's appearance.
Aww.
Yeah,
Is
so
it-
if you want to like find, you should probably either watch the trailer, which I haven't, or you should go to or you should look at the PlayStation site.
I was just gonna ask, is it a computer game? Is it a PlayStation game?
It's a
I,
PS.
I have somebody here that's going to help me. Sorry, Michaela. I'll see you later.
Okay,
Guys.
bye.
Bye.
I guess I don't know much about it other than it's dinosaur people, and I guess they're like getting out of high school, like at the end of their high school days or whatever.
Time to get a job or go to college. Sounds like it'd be fun to design though, like dinosaur cheerleaders, dinosaur teachers, principal.
Yeah, it's designed to the point where the characters are pretty human, or at least have a lot of human traits. Like their head shapes, skull shapes are pretty human. They all have hair.
Oh, I don't know. That might be too humanized for me.
Yeah, it's like I it's well, I can ignore those parts. It
I like
looks
the ones like the Spyro dragons that you were showing us, where it's basically just like an upright dragon. Like I
oh
prefer
yeah, those ones are
that
cool.
kind of anthropomorphism. You'd probably put some kind of ground line in here. Huh? Let's maybe just put a little separator there.
The main thing that brought into my attention was like someone on Twitter saying that like one of the dinosaurs looks almost exactly like them.
Like in real life?
Yeah, and also like how they draw themselves.
Oh,
Like a
gotcha.
dinosaur version of themselves.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those where people have their characters and I go, wait, that looks exactly like how I draw myself.
Yeah.
I'm their character. But you know, short hair and glasses, that's pretty common in the artist world, so can't blame them.
Oh yeah, I can link you to it so you can see it.
Let me see here. Why I'm getting a weird thing on my computer that says 80%. 80% of what? I'm not sure.
It's interesting. It's like not my preferred way of drawing anthropomorphic dinosaurs. Also, I think
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, and I think like though sometimes it's like they'll give them like the main character suffers from this honestly, where like they gave them like mainly like human shaped head, but then it's like she's like a pterodactyl or like whatever the flying one is called. And so it's like she's kind of like got a human shaped head, but she's got like a really long mouth, and she's also got like a spike sticking out of her skull, and but she
Yeah.
also has.
Yeah, not
Oh,
my
I
favorite.
gave you a link.
Yep, I checked it out. I could see it. It looks more like the style of what's that one anime? Not BNA, but the other animal one. I don't care for it because it's basically like human bodies with mascot heads like stuck on.
No, I'd say it's different from Beastars, where Beastars, the characters, like their body shapes are mostly animal and
No,
wait,
Beastars?
I'm sorry, I misspoke. And then it's like, but in Beastars, like the characters, like their heads don't really have hair. At least most of them don't.
True, they don't have hair, but they do look to me like you have a human neck and then you just put an animal head on top of it.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
think the
fine. I mean, they're the ones making it. They can make it however they want, but I just don't prefer it.
Yeah. I am kind of interested in it though.
All right, what colors do I have for this dinosaur? We'll make it orange. Can't remember how many dinosaurs I've made orange already. Actually, maybe I will make it gray and then maybe give it some colored stripes. That might be fun. Gray and
Oh, hey, I'm gonna link you to another image. Hold on.
hot pink. I don't think I use hot pink for
You can see
anything.
the Triceratops character better, and I think the Triceratops character looks a bit better.
One moment while I click this link.
Because I feel like the Triceratops character, I don't know why specifically. I'm trying to figure out why do I like the Triceratops better than most of the other characters, like the main character at least.
The one sitting by the fire?
No, the new image I sent you, the new link.
It sent me to the exact same page.
That's weird. This is supposed to be an image that I sent you. Hold on, if I copy it and I send it to you, will it take you to it? Save image as
Maybe I clicked on the same one by accident. Let me try it again. Because the links were side by side. Oh, yeah. The one flipping me off. Hopefully this isn't being recorded.
No, I don't see it. Yeah, I feel like it shows off like the Triceratops looks cute, but then the main character is kind of.
Oh, the hair. I'm not on board with the hair, so.
Yeah, maybe if they leaned more into like a more dinosaur-y shaped skull, like like mess with the face shape a little bit, then maybe she'll look a bit better. Then maybe you could keep the hair, maybe. I'm still interested in it though. I might. Honestly, I was gonna say I might get it, but I'm thinking probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, unless I like watch a review that says something really specific about it. Then maybe, but otherwise,
Especially so many people that make YouTube videos of their gameplay anyway. If I'm not interested in playing the game and just want to see the designs, might as well just watch somebody else play.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were still working on the dinosaur. For some reason, I thought you were done with it.
That's alright. We've got 9 minutes left. I should be able to finish this in 9 minutes.
Oh, my dog is crying. She wants to see what's happening outside.
Um, this orange may have been a poor choice of colors. This dinosaur looks so fiery now. Oh well. Just keep going.
Yeah, you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak.
That's alright. Just coloring this guy. I don't know whether to leave his stomach a different color or not. Should be orange too.
Hi, baby. I'm going back into Jet again and just trying to like do proper perspective on his arm. Man, I forgot how hard perspective was.
It's supposed to be a real good video on it. I haven't watched it yet though, but it's going around Pinterest of some kind of foreshortening trick with arms where you draw, I think, an oval or something to show where the wrist and elbow and all that will be. I'll have to look it up after I color my dinosaur. I'll color toenails orange. I should probably know in Korean by now, but I don't. I know in Japanese, orange, because it's super easy to remember.
What?
In Japanese, the color orange is orange.
Neat fact. You know, the other day I came across this neat little tutorial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they talked about how instead of like doing square shapes in when you draw hands, you should draw like a diamond shape because it makes like the hand more dynamic.
Diamond shape, like a for the
Hold on,
knuckle line.
Hold on, give me a second. I'll find it.
Oh, just 2 minutes left.
Okay, here it is finally. Okay, copy link. Open up chat. Copy, paste, send.
Since we have 1 more minute, I'm going to open that up in my browser and check it in the next class.
Okay.
Just in case somebody else is waiting for character design to start. That's how mine came out. I kind of regret the orange, but what can you do? Live and learn.
Yeah.
How about yours, Frank? Oh, nice. I like the red and the orange a lot better. Oh, and you got a clear jar too. Nice. Advanced. Cute, cute. You're going to have some of the best dinosaurs for this art show in, what, December? Must be in December. Cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end class here. See some of you guys next week. Some of you in the next class.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.